Boston Manor have a new album. That's why I'm making this video. Duh. Sundiver. Hello, welcome back. You're with me.
I see snap.
Boston Manor, the British band. Boston Manor, the British band hailing from Boston, Blackpool. Formed in 2013, the band quickly rose the ranks of the alternative rock scene in the UK with their blend of pop punk, post-hardcore, emo sound. I would say through the years their music has evolved into something a bit more darker and ambient, incorporating elements of grunge, experimental rock, and even a bit of industrial here and there. Kind of experimenting, but keeping it somewhat safe. I haven't actually listened to much Boston Manor over the years, but my partner loves them, so I felt obliged. Initial thoughts, it's not too bad. Weirdly, I was expecting something more mind-blowing, but nonetheless, I enjoyed it a fair bit. Listening back to previous albums, you do hear that evolution from like pop punk to alternative rock and that sort of thing, a bit more grungy maybe. However, this album compared to their previous, it does seem to pull a bit more from that punk pop era, whilst keeping that alternative edge. The album itself starts off pretty good, and it follows a similar theme to the previous album Datura with the intro, except this time from dusk till dawn. Straight away, it seems to have a bit more of a natural sound with the birds rather than the electronic metronome from the previous album. You'd think this might be an indication to where the album is going, but not really. It's just a bit of a nice intro. This follows on quite nicely to the album's lead track, I would say, Container. It's a good song, maybe a bit generic here and there. Everything sounds kind of good, but the only standout thing to me is the vocals, and not really in a good way. They're good until they become processed. A little bit of LFO and a bit of a bit crusher maybe. Either way, I don't like how they sound, and I think they just shouldn't have done that. But saying that, it does sound good in different songs, so it totally depends on what they've done, but weirdly it doesn't work in this song for me. Lyrics as well here being a bit vague and open. The idea of second chances. The panic that sets in knowing you need to change your world before you become stagnated. I actually really like that topic and idea, but the lyrics just are a bit too vague, I think. I will say one thing though, this is one of the better mixed songs on the album. I think the next song, Sliding Doors, is pretty good mixed as well, but it does vary throughout the album. In general, it's quite hard, it's got some good guitars, and these really rough slides that I enjoyed. But the next song, Heat Me Up, is where the mix starts to feel a bit busy. It's all very up here, it's a bit washed out, it's a bit too bright. Even on the breakdown, when it all gets a bit more calm, you still feel like it's too disconnected. Nothing really works weirdly. But I found going into the EQ settings on my device actually sorted a lot of these issues out, but I don't really want to be going in and sorting the levels out myself, unless obviously I want something to be enhanced, but I think initially it should sound good. Coming to the middle of the album, and the tone completely shifts at this point. Suddenly I'm listening to some indie pop rock or something, and it feels slightly out of place. Are they testing the water here? Do they kind of want to see a reaction from fans? I don't know. And then the next song, I guess a bit more of an interlude, Morning Star, again takes another left turn, and it's drum and bass. Yeah, I honestly hope it becomes a bigger thing because I want to hear more of that. Drum and bass, metal, what's not to like? You know, it's pretty ambient, it's pretty rusty. I think overall a pretty decent song. I just wish it was longer and maybe more of it. I think this is followed quite well into the next song with the drilling guitar and its heaviness of Why I Fall Asleep. But from this song, the rest start to feel quite the same. If you like this type of music, you're probably gonna like these songs. If you're looking for something new, you might be wanting more. Until we get to What Is Taken Will Never Be Lost. A bit more of a slower song, feeling a bit more noughties, 90s. A bit of a grungy undertone as well. What stood out to me was the guitar that you hear throughout the song. It's kind of a rural, weird, creepy vibe, and I do kind of like that. I think an okay song overall. I didn't love it, but I still think it was pretty good. Closing the album off now with a bit of Heriot. A pretty decent song to lead the album off. It's heavy, it's punchy, but there were a few issues. The screaming parts felt slightly hidden in the background. I just wanted to hear them a bit more up front, you know? Why bother adding these things when you don't put them at the forefront. Yeah, all in all, I had a pretty decent listen. My main issue throughout so much of the album was the mix. Like, it just felt really uncohesive. Some were better than others, weird decisions here and there, especially on the last track. Even so, there was enough to keep me interested. And with all that, I would give this album a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know below. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, anything you like, and hopefully catch you on the next one. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.